In the metals quadrant, gold jumps again after closing lower 3 of the last 4 sessions. Gold now heads higher and gets above all of the highs except for the high of 2019. So it's basically above the range that was bouncing lower, and we're now on a path to have our 10th of the last 12-week higher in gold. Still a few days left in this week, but it looks like on a pretty strong path after the news that we've had today. Global recession yields are forecasted now across a number of economies. The UK has a negative yield curve now from the 2-year note to the 10-year note. That negative yield curve has a recession prediction capacity to it. Here in the US as well, briefly, the 2-year to 10-year note went down into recession territory, which is an inversion of that yield curve. It is not a foolproof signal, especially here in the US. Plenty of things are showing a very strong consumer still, but the last 7 recessions, at least in the US, have been preceded by a 2-year note to a 10-year note yield curve spread that has gone negative. So that's now flashing across the world. German yield curve is not inverted yet, but the entire yield is negative. So that's also signaling there could be a recession coming in the EU with some of the weak data that they've got. All of this pushing gold higher as sort of a flight to safety. Risk assets fell all day long. We had copper falling, we had crude oil falling, we had all 4 of the major US equities falling after all of the yield curve activity that we've seen today. We'll see overnight if that continues in the Asian markets. It is likely, because the recession indicator is just flashing so strongly right now. All of this very bullish for gold, and again, we're well on our way for that 10th out of 12 weeks higher close in the precious metal.